welcome back to the Minecraft server. This is the United Kingdoms of Quillbriar, of course. And the other day I got a comment from a fellow on my channel, Crazy Fun Dragon. How's that for an awesome online name? And he said he was new to the game and he was asking, are there any kind of building basic videos out there? And you know what? I don't actually know of any. I had looked into that myself when I first started playing, and you'd find these time-lapse things with these great big amazing projects like the stuff we saw over on Spongie's server when we were visiting there, and the stuff that was smaller, a lot of it was kind of uninspiring, or there were just reasons why I didn't like it. So I pretty much just messed around on my own for a very, very long time, and you learn some stuff, and then I have all these amazing builders on this server now, and I get to wander around and check out their places, and I've learned a lot since then. So I figured, you know what, I'm not a hotshot builder yet, but I know the basics. So I figured, you know what, let's share some of that. It'll be fun. And this, it stops me. It kind of makes me think about things again, about options again, gets things more orderly in my own mind. So this is going to be good for me too. So I'm going to start with a wall. Let's build a wall. Or I've built some things here because I figured it'd be a lot faster to just explain it than have you watch me bang around. And I think, yes, I'm in creative mode so that if I do need to tear something down, or if I need a part to show you, you won't have to wait while I go build that. So this seemed like a better choice for the recording at any rate. So now if you're building a wall is a wall is a wall. I mean, it's a big straight line, it's a bunch of blocks. That part's pretty easy. For those of you who saw the Summer Palace the video that I put up yesterday, I mean, the very first thing I did there was just sort of block out some rooms. Now, I will be honest, I didn't even know what those rooms were going to be, but I thought this is supposed to be big and impressive, and there would be like a reception room, throne room, whatever. You need bedrooms, you need living spaces of some sort, hallways, stuff, right? And I just blocked out the big rooms now, and that is often what I will do to start a building. Occasionally I only start with two sides. I will start with like this, and I'll just put a few blocks down and then start with another block over here. And having an idea for what you want is great, but I'll be honest, the keep didn't start with an idea. I think I showed you one of my really early recordings in here was we had just started the keep, and it was a big square. It was literally a big square foundation. That was all. And Enderman turned out okay, and Enderman Deep was just a hole. Big hole in the ground that I was taking resources out of. But I will often start with something like this, and then just put down, if I want a bedroom, so we'll do that. We'll grab a bed, and I'll, I do a little bit less of this now because I've played the game a while, but if I want a double bed, you'll put that down, and okay, if I put a wall here, that leaves how much room? If I put a wall there, it leaves how much room? And I'll just sort of start to build that way, like a room at a time. And I said, well, that's plenty of room for that. That'll be cool. And I didn't even get that up against the wall there, so I could put something else back there. You know what? We can put books back there for a headboard, which I've never done before and realized that I love. Oh my God, see, it's good to do things like this. I have never used that. Do you know how many rooms I'm going to have to go change now? That just makes me happy. Oh my goodness, this is brilliant. I mean, brilliant that, you can have these little serendipitous moments of awesome fun. So you could have it as a nightstand as well. There's different ways of doing things like that. So, and that's all I do. I plop things down, and sometimes you get really lucky, and sometimes it's really, really ugly. More of the latter, obviously, but so at any rate, I often just start building like this. Nice and simple. I know I want a room there. I know I'm going to want a room here. I know I'm going to want a room there. Now, one thing I will go over here and show you right away, because even this much planning ahead can get really messed up if you change your mind later. And you've got to be willing well. If you build like I do, you have got to be willing to rebuild and dig out a mountain and move back a wall and rip it all down and redo the roof. You just, yeah. Because, yeah. Look at the color of the sky. It's so creepy. Oh my goodness, no kidding. Cloudy day. But I'm in the desert, so we're not getting the rain. It's just creepy. Anyway, so here you can put up a straight wall and it looks how it looks. If you're doing something a little more interesting, or with something big like the palace or the keep, I mean a huge square wall, it can get a little dull. If you're doing a little log cabin, of course, it's going to be a little square building, and that's perfect. That's what it should look like. That's awesome. But for some of the bigger places, just endless expanses of, oh my goodness, yeah, whatever. So you might want, this is a really nice technique for textures, for getting some depth. This off from a distance. Well, you saw a lot of this used at the Summer Palace above windows and things like that. Now, the thing here with this, of course, is your wall just became 2 blocks thick. And if I were over here deciding to do that, if I had decided I want, I've got these blocks, so I'm just going to use them for a moment here. But if I had something like this over here and I had decided that I wanted that to show through, aim, Ava, you can do it. Then we've got, and this room just got a whole lot smaller on the inside. Now, if I don't want this showing on this side, I actually want a wooden wall inside. Well, life just got really different. Okay, so you need to plan some things, or often what I do is just make sure I have enough room around me, or go into it aware that if I change my mind, I can build out there, or I can tear down here and actually just move a wall back should I need to do that. So, in this particular case, sandstone is a great indoor wall. I mean, that's beautiful. It's like a nice like a poured textured wall of some sort, and it looks awesome. That might make a great indoor wall. On the other hand, if that's not the look where you're going for, you're going to have to add that wood back to this side if that's what you want your actual wall to look like. So keep it in mind that some of these, especially the bigger buildings where you're looking for points of interest, where you need those little architectural details to keep it from becoming just blah, huge and massive and not real exciting later. Keep these sorts of things in mind, okay? Depth, texture, real important, real fun to play with too. Now this, see, this is a silk wall, and you saw that in the Summer Palace, and that is actually a watermelon in this texture pack. Now this may look like absolute crap in other texture packs, and I'm sure there's going to be blocks that I can't use that in another texture pack would be brilliant. Now you can use these the pumpkins to some extent too. Not all of them have faces. Again, that will depend on your texture pack. And with the pumpkins, the face is not all the way around, so it's going to face toward you. So if you want a wall facing this way, I could do this on the inside, or whatever, and then have an orange wall over here with the faces on the other side. I'm thinking you're going to want to cover that with some wood or with something, because oh my god, that's a little whatever. If it's a Halloween house, maybe it's perfect. But you can play around with all kinds of things for building that aren't necessarily made for building in any fashion. So I know I saw that and I thought, oh my god, it looks like a silk cloth wall. I love this. It makes a great bed because a little button on top makes it look like it's quilted. The color is kind of brilliant. So yay, that's okay. So building walls, keep that in mind, that texture and depth can really make a difference. but you can end up, instead of one wall, you can have 3 walls thick. I mean, you could have more. Of course, if you were doing big city walls or something, you might want to take out even another layer like that, and you know, your walls 4, 5, and that's cool around a castle, because you might want a walkway up there, you know, guard towers built into the side and all sorts of things. So you can do some really, really fun things. And the trick is just try them until you find out something you like. Now stairs, this here, that is a stair. And with the stairs, you know, they make great corners, you know, for cutout items like this. I'll show you a little bit further on other ways you can use the stairs. Now, one thing about them, okay, and again, stairs right here as well. With the stairs, they're very much like those pumpkins. They're going to go down depending on how you're facing. So if I'm standing here, the stair faces me. If I stand this side, the stair faces me. If I'm trying to line them all up in a row here like this, but I'm standing at an angle, I get all kinds of stuff. You know, it does this little bending wraparound. So it's attempting to face me. So keep that in mind. Sometimes when you're putting something in like this, I had to jump up there and turn and face it. Sometimes you're in the way of your, you know, you're in the way of yourself. Yes, that's it. And you might even have to take out a block over here to be able to stand here and do that. Now, another thing to notice with the stairs is where you aim on the block you're placing it on. If I click on the bottom, I do not get that little wraparound effect, okay? The corner, the bend, the L part of the stair is going to be what tucks into wherever I'm aiming. So if I aim up here, it comes out right. So keep that one in mind too. Now the stairs, I've used them as the base around this tower. It makes a great column up and down. And again, up here, they're just placed upside down. That's all there is to it. Now what I've done with this one is, you know, you go around and you're placing them like that, and you have to go around to do it, and then when you hit in the center, it will wrap around like that for you. So with, yeah, good job. Now without this one being here, and if I put one here, it goes straight. If I come back here, it will wrap. So you keep that in mind. Angle is really, really important when you're playing around with these stairs. Now occasionally, it doesn't always happen. A lot of times though, if you, you know, you've got like 2 in a row that are straight and you want it to bend, once you do put the one on the other side, the one at the end will kind of automatically flip around and catch it. It doesn't always happen, but it does often enough that it seems like it's probably something that's supposed to. So that's a wall, and there are choices. Again, think of textures. You know, we've got a wooden wall. By using a log here and putting it up on either side, it kind of looks like we have wood shutters going on. That's kind of cool. Using wool in building makes it look like we have green shutters. Now I learned something just the other day building the palace. I like using wool. I used green wool on the roof. You know, I sort of going for the, well, I like the way it looked. The color looked great with the sandstone and the white quartz, and I wanted it to sort of look like a, you know, a copper roof that had gone green, or, you know, something like that. But the roof will leak. The roof will leak. But of course, your roof is peaked or whatever it is. You can put a ceiling inside the house, or a second layer. You know, if you want the vaulted thing, you can put a second layer of wood inside and stop the leaking. But the leaking, you know, it was up in the attic in the servants' quarters. You know, back in that day and age, it's probably would have been acceptable. So I haven't actually done too much about that. I did a little, but yeah, mostly I just left it and giggled a lot. But I didn't know. I had no idea it was going to do that, so it was funny. Here, using the white wool and in the dark wood, you can kind of get that a Tudor sort of effect, which is kind of fun, and you can make for a lot of really nice houses. I've got a village I'm just started laying foundations for that I want to be very much a Tudor village, so I've been waiting on that one for a long time. Now, when you're building roofs, there are different styles, obviously. Some people build right to the peak all the time. Some people flatten it all the time. I like to use a mixture. I like flat roofs that I can turn into, you know, roof gardens and things like that. I like peak roofs. I like some of the flat ones. I know there are proper names for these, and I used to know what they are, and I can't think of a single one today, so I don't know. I'm getting over this fluey thing that I've had for the last couple days, but it's still a little, I don't know. So the stairs make great roofs. Now I gotta warn you about something, because I did this. I was doing the big back tower on Enderman Keep that was added on a fair way into the project. And I was using whole blocks for the roof, okay? I mean, the roof was huge. It was very high up. You know, using an entire block looked just fine. Whoops, not there, sweetie. So, you know, you got the roof stepped, and because it was so tall and you're down here seeing it, it looked great. It wasn't a problem. But see, monsters can spawn on a full block. And it took me a while. I didn't even know why. I didn't catch, you know, what was going on. That I would come out in the morning and there would be endless spiders, or I would try to walk around the keep at night and, you know, there'd be skeletons, like armies of freaking skeletons up there shooting at me. There'd be creepers up there. Then sometimes they would drop down in bunches of 2 or 3 and blow up massive parts of the keep and knock me flying off into space and killing me over and over. And I didn't realize it was because the roof was, you know, made of whole blocks, and they can spawn on those whole blocks. And I ended up climbing all the way up there and putting torches all over the place, which admittedly made a great sort of lighthouse, you know, tower in the distance, easy to find. But it wasn't the look I was going for, and I finally clued in and tried putting steps up there instead, and I didn't have that problem anymore. And I was really grateful. So use steps or be prepared. It never gets dull that way, though. I gotta tell you. Now, here using the steps, I will show you 3 different styles for the edges. You know, this one placed accordingly, this step placed upside down, and you know, you get that kind of edge around the roof. This is the one I probably use the most, although I have used that. It doesn't work everywhere on every style, but it does sort of give a nice, you know, edge overhang. I don't know. I've used it a few times. I tend to use this one the most, and I just start, you know, right on the wall here. You'd lay the first one just there, like that. Nice and simple. And no, that's going to be too close. And then, you know, you go up from there, and that gives an overhang. Now, I have seen a lot of people just start the roof right at the edge, so your roof goes right smack to the edge of the house. I've seen people do that. It's not my favorite, but, you know, I guess it might depend on the style of the house too, so it is what it is. If you like it, then it's perfect. Here, I've got the step up there, and instead of a step here, because that of course fills up, you know, when you're using the step, it fills up that whole top block. I've just used a slab, just a half a slab, and you know what? That sounds like a good time to show you how those work. What did I want to do? Well, I guess, you know what? I guess this will work okay. With the slabs, again, aiming makes all the difference. If I aim at the bottom, can you see? Yeah, should I get a little closer here maybe? You can see the square outline. If I aim at the bottom, whoops, that's not so good. The slab fills the bottom half. However, the game, as far as the game is concerned, that's a full block. Okay, you can't place anything on this. I can't sit something, see it snaps to the wall on top, because that block is full. No matter what it looks like to me, that block is full. If I take their slabs and put them on the top, it's a different look. And here, well, come on. And here, I guess I'm in Creative, I can fly, right? Then I can use it to place something on. Keep in mind too with these slabs, I mean there's one, and usually these are our choices: a half a slab, a full block. A full block would look like two. You can play around with the things in the middle. You know, you've got some choices. You can have this. You can have two of them. When you get the slabs into the equation, where's the one that matches? Here we go. You know, you've got this. Whoops. It helps to select it. You've got this, but you've also got, oops, that is an option. So you've got some different heights that you can play with. Now, I wish you could stack different half slabs, but you cannot. I have tried. I keep trying. I keep thinking, maybe I'm wrong, but you can't. So keep that in mind if you need a different height. Now, also remember that if you put something else over this, it's not going to, you know, it's not going to touch. Or if you are using it, you know, as if you're putting a roof on top or something, there's going to be a gap in there. So it doesn't work everywhere for every reason, but there are some nice, you know, nice reasons to use that. So remember to aim when you're using the slabs. And here I've just used these slabs, these half blocks for the top and the bottom for a different style of column. See this with the pink in the bottom? Not so much. Not so much. Now with roofing, again, there are different, you know, obviously very different styles. This one is what I showed you over here. I've started with a step right on the first block at the top of the wall, and I've stepped it up so you've got like a roof and the wall goes right to the top. Okay, that's one style of building. And over here we have a very different one, and in this one the roof is going to wrap around. And here using that wraparound effect that the wool can do, right? The steps can do. Now you can also, this one I've taken it right to the top, and I have used a half slab on the top, but I could have just as easily, I'll just use this one here. I could have just as easily put it down inside and made for a flatter roof on top, or I could have even gone even further and made the roof really flat. Now I would have, you know, I'd use yellow wool, of course, but probably, well, there's reasons not to, I guess. So, you know, and there is a much flatter style of roof here. So you can have peaks, you can have flat, you can wrap it around, you can take it straight to the edge. Lots of good fun things to do there. Now when you are building a roof, you need, you know, you need to get up there. You need to be all up here. Placing, I usually start down below if I can reach it, if the wall's not so incredibly high that I can't even, you know, get to it, because then once I get up there I use this one to walk on. Now depending on which direction you're going in, I might have to walk off, you know, the edge to be able to place another one correctly. This is working out okay, but if I want to put one on the end, if I want that little overhang of roof, if you hold the shift key down as you walk out over the edge, you don't fall off, and you can place it, and you can place it under you, and you can just hold that shift key down and keep placing the roof as you go, like that. And that's what I do, one block at a time. You sneak out, you put a couple. Don't drop the shift key. Is it the shift? Yes. Because if you're a long way down, you die. And we've all done that one. So that's building a roof, building walls, columns, using the stairs to wrap things around, playing with textures. Now here in front of the window, I've used, and everybody uses, these trapdoors. They're awesome. And again, depending on where you place it, that's where it will go. You'll see a lot of these used in our game as sort of countertops, you know, for a shop or a bar. You put the counter down, walk through, and pop it back up again. You know, it's kind of fun. But they're very decorative around the dirt like this, and voila, you have a planter in front of the window. I love these. I use them a lot. Another way of, you know, putting like a ledge or something is using a half slab, and here it's on the top part of the block, so I can actually place something on it. See, it works. And had I used, if I'd been up higher and put it on the bottom, of course, it doesn't work. Over here, I used stairs upside down. Again, it looks like a ledge has been built up, you know, just a place. And you can put your little pots of flowers and goodies like that. Now, with some of the blocks, like the wooden, the actual tree logs here, how you place them makes a difference in what they're going to look like or how they're going to work. You know, for a little log cabin effect, having the cut side show, you know, because you've got a log, you've cut it, you've laid it down, so you want that cut side to show. But you can't just do that, because they go depending on where your place, like where you're aiming again. And I can't just aim out in the middle of the air and put a block up. It's got to be against something. So the first one, sort of by default, is always going to have the cut side up. So if I want to start something like, I'm pointing because you can see, right? Sorry about that. So if you want something like this, you know, with the cut side showing, you're gonna have to put a block of something down and then build your log from that. And once you've got the first one, of course, turn around. You know, it's real easy to get the second log coming out this way for your log cabin. So that part's easy. If you're making a column or some sort, you know, you go wherever you aim. The opposite side is what's going to be the cut side. If I go up here, see, there it is, and it gives you that long tree-like effect, like you had the whole log that you used, which is kind of fun. Now I've got these pots, and it's part of a mod that we're using on the server, and I love these because you can make them look like anything. And the biggest reason I'm showing you the flower pots is simply it helps train us to think outside the box. What can we do that's, you know, how can we use a material that's not the normal way to use a material or a shape or something like this. This one has been colored with the enchanting table, actually. This is just lapis lazuli, or that's what it looks like in this texture. That's a birch tree, and that's a jute box, which looks like a little wicker basket, and I love it. I think that is so cool. I don't know where to find it, mind you. Oh yeah, I want to show you that maybe at some point too. I don't even know where I found this stuff. I don't know. Oh, nope. Well, a note block. That'll work absolutely just as well. So you can take these, and when you click on these pots, they change and give you your other block back. Now, I've used these for furniture as well. Now, come on. That's pretty. It's awesome. It looks like a basket or a different kind of wood. Now with some of these things, of course, if I go to put something on that, it's just going to play a tune. I can put it on the side. If I use the shift key, okay, that shift key, remember, use the shift key, you can walk out over the edge without falling. You can't go far, but you don't fall. And I can use the shift key to turn this into a functioning block. Like this could be a desk or something with a flower pot on it, or torches, whatever. If I just click on it normally with the torch, it plays a note. If I hit shift, now it's a table. Up here I've got a stair, like the two stairs that meet at the top. You can see that okay? A stair, and then just blocks to fill it in. And it's like a swag curtain over the top, and I apparently didn't finish it. This are stairs again. These are from the wool, the blocks of wool in this mod that, yeah, I don't know where this, if this is part of the vanilla or not, I can't even remember, but we've got these we can turn into furniture. That little arm at the side is just a sign. If you grab a sign, and you just click on there. Now you can put designs if you want. If you wanted, you know, a striped arm or something. Easy enough to do. Some people are really good at making little pictures and things like this. I'm not one of those people, but you know, I usually just leave them plain because, you know, that's me. In this case, with this chair, oh, wrong pink. You know, if I place it down here, it's going to wrap around, and I have a wraparound sofa. Now over here, I've got just a step again, turned into a chair. I've used a half block, a slab there, and on this side, I aim at the top, place the stair, it goes upside down, and I have a big lounge chair. And again, you know, it's big enough you can use the top of this for, you know, a flower pot or something like that. Awesome, cool. Oh, I had to show you with the flower pots, and I've done this just a couple of times. If you use the books, and you can use any solid block to cover these. If you use the books, they look like a little set of books lined up. And I've used that just as a little set of books lined up. Kind of cute. Now with flooring, the flooring, a point I would like to make is think of in terms of your ceiling and your floor very much like you did these walls. Now if you're just putting down wood, you want a wood ceiling, you want a wood floor above it, you're done. If you want a white ceiling or a blue ceiling and you want a wood floor above that, that's 2 blocks high. Keep that in mind while you're building. Or you can end up, you know, you think you've got a room that's 3 or 4 blocks high, you add a new layer, and now you've got this little short, you know, short cozy thing when you were going for lofty and awesome. So keep it in mind. Floors, ceilings, they don't have to be the same. Sometimes I like ceilings with decorations in them, and I don't necessarily want the floor on top to have that same decoration. Sometimes I've used I've used wool for flooring because then you've got a carpet type effect, which can be kind of nice. So, you know, you can make checkerboards or whatever, and I've used this as a floor because this allows me to have carpet and build on it. There are really thin pieces now in this texture pack. What did I do? Put it in the wrong place entirely. And these can be used as carpet, but they're not real happy about you putting anything over it, okay? And using the shift key doesn't matter. It's the full block, it's full, it's not going to allow you to put anything over this. So if I want just a carpet down the middle of a room where I'm not doing anything, or if I've put something like, I've used, whoops, come on, grab that neighbor. I've used things like this, and you've seen this in my videos, where, you know, it looks like a coffee table and I've put carpet around it, and that works okay. That looks like it's sitting on the carpet when, you know, it's not. But if I want a carpeted floor and I don't want a red and black, you know, in this case, ceiling underneath me, then this has got to be 2 blocks high. So if it were, you know, yeah, keep that in mind. You're going to have to put the wood up here to have this kind of floor if you want, you know, that for the ceiling underneath, which would make a really disturbing room. Again, flooring can be made out of all kinds of things. This lovely little tile, and it makes a great floor. It's beautiful, and it's made from crafting tables. This is the top of the crafting table in this texture pack. That's kind of fun. I like that. I think that's really cool. I do like this a lot. So you can, you know, you can make a whole floor out of this, but you get a problem with this. You know, you can put them down. That's your floor. You build away. Awesome. Everything's looking good. And you go, oh my gosh, I have this great tile floor. It's so cool. Now I want to put a bookcase, and all you do is open the crafting table. And you keep opening the crafting table. If you use the shift key, you can place whatever you want. So it can be done. And that's why the chair's there, to prove that. This one over here are just iron blocks in this texture pack, and that's the furnace. So if I want some sort of metal floor, there it is. Dark and light tile or whatever. This is wool with a couple of the buttons that you find in under the redstone packet, like here, or the wooden ones here. And that, you know, if you use a gray one, it looks just like a filing cabinet. I actually had to change some over at the Bray Tower because I kept thinking it looked like a filing cabinet. It drove me crazy. You know what? I wonder, I gotta try something, because I'll bet it would do it even more. If I use this metal, now that would really look like a filing cabinet too. That's just, oh my goodness. Anyway, this over here is a piston of some sort. This one, unfortunately, even with the shift key, it's not going to let me put anything on top of it or use it in any fashion. But it sure makes a nice little table or countertop that's just, you know, not going to have something sitting on it. I really like the little wood design across the top. Now with that one, aim, again, really important. If you just put it down, that's what it looks like. And it's not the same. It looks like you've tipped your table over. So for this one, I often find I'm just jumping up and down because it's the easiest way to do it. And then I place the table. Is there anything else I wanted to show you guys today? Oh, I've been asked this a few times, and I've been playing with it a bit lately. Under the decorative, these item frames, you can make some really nice lights with these. Now, I've seen most people just use this, but I've been using this because it fits my color scheme. And then I've even found out that you can use these. Now you can use some other stuff, but it doesn't look right. Okay, so I'll put this frame up first of all. And if you guys don't know about these frames, you can put anything in them. If I want to show off my, nope, not taking any chance that I'm ever going to lose that one. Iron pickaxe, you know, I'm a miner and I want to show off my stuff. You click on the frame, it pops it up there, and you've got, you know, something you can hang on the wall. Now this is actually storage as well. So you can, you know, you can take it down. You can, you know, use that to put your sword away. Oh, it's little bitty. It's kind of cute. Now, once an item is in there, if you right click on it, it turns. So, you know, you can get really odd, I suppose, with some things. That's cool. So the frames are fun. Like I said, storage you can show off. But I tend to use them mostly like this. I will put that in. Now again, right clicking, it turns it around, changes a lot. Not what I'm going for, as you'll see in a minute. I can put the half slabs in there as well. And I have discovered I can put these little skinny bits in there as well. And then I take a torch. Now if you put the torch down in the middle where I'm aiming, it just spins the block. Okay, that's all that's going to do. You kind of have to go off to the side here like this. You're still within the block, but you're not in the frame. And it puts the torch down, and voila, it looks like you got a little holder thing. I wonder what will happen there. It doesn't work. So it works with some things it'll work, but it just doesn't look right. These make it look like the torch is going through. Most things will just pop it out in front. It's kind of weird stuff, and some things don't work at all. So that's kind of a fun little decorative doodah. And there was one other, oh yeah, I remember. There's a couple of things actually. This one, oh, and I wanted to, when you are building, especially with you know, with the brick really can make a huge difference here. That's cracked, and whoops, I did it the exact opposite of what I wanted to, because I am just that good. Where was the stone again? There. I want this one. Thank you. Okay, when you are doing a big wall, you know, you do have a certain amount of pattern repeat, and that's going to make, it's going to be a lot more noticeable in some textured packs than others. With the cobblestone, the mossy stone, all right, this is pretty drastically different in this one, but if you've got water nearby and you stagger it a little bit, and maybe you've got some vines, you know, growing, it can really sort of fit in a lot nicer. It can really be pretty. With, let me see, I was looking for, and another time. With the brick, even more so. This one is very cool because you've got your brick, and that, you know, looks perfect and awesome. And I suppose if it's a brand new building, perfect and awesome is actually how it should look. But we don't live in that world, just saying. So here, adding, you know, mossy stone at the bottom if you've got water. And this one is, you know, in this texture pack, there's a big difference between with and without moss. With the brick, it's a little more subtle, and I really love it. I think it looks great. And if you, we also have, you will notice cracked stone bricks. Oh, Spongy fell from a high place. How much you want to bet he's doing a roof? But if you add a few of these, and certainly not as many as I have in an area like this, but if you add a few of these here and there, it's going to make everything look so much more realistic. And, you know, for the most part, you're going to be seeing it from a distance. It just, see, you know, even way back here, you can't really see why, but it's not just flat and uniform. So that's kind of fun. Oh, and over here, fencing, I did sort of an odd octopus little lamppost thing here. Those are glow stones, and this is just fencing. Nice and simple. And you know, you put it down, you put one up, you can stick them at the side, you can bring it over this way. You can do a lot of fun things with the fencing. Another thing you can do with the fencing, which looks great on a porch or something if you're going for a Victorian look, or even in a house. I have used this in a couple of places inside houses, but you can have, you know, sort of a railing on top, and you could have had the fence at the bottom of the stairs or at the bottom of the porch, you know, whatever. It's cute. So that I made a lamp. You know, if you take this same thing, flip it upside down and hang it from the ceiling, you have a chandelier. Play with designs for that. You can use, you know, you can use the glowstone, or you can put the torches on the top. Now, if it's upside down, let's see, do we have something? I can snag a roof here real quick. So if we're in here and we're hanging it from the ceiling, which is nowhere near high enough to do this, but you know, you bring it down, you bring, whoops, you bring it down, and then you have it go out to the side. Of course, you would be putting your torch on the top, you know, and it's going to hang down. The torch is up there. It's kind of fun. Cool times. Again, think in terms of different textures. You know, this is a metallic thing with iron. I don't like it, but you know, if you had a wooden thing with iron, you know, it would look like wood. You could use a whole log, wrought iron sort of feel. That's kind of fun too. And the one last thing, which I keep putting away by accident, and Spongy showed me this, and I love it. I think it is such an awesome idea. He uses it all the time. Spongy likes to build big and epic, okay, and he does these big doors, which you may or may not have seen built along the walls in Whitehall, but you will certainly see them when we go over to see the palace. And he will do these big doors that, you know, have this as an edge, and then he'll use wool or something, or stone to fill it in, or a different kind of wood. But he uses his cobblestone wall thing for hinges. Now, when you've built this behind a wall, it's kind of awesome, I gotta tell you. This kid is so good. So, you know, you've got this great big stone hinge for the door. That's very cool. I like it. Here, this is one of the pots that are from that mod whose name I cannot remember. Why can't I remember that? Yeah. Oof, what have I done here? Whoa, whoa. Clicked when I should have I keep doing this. I'm dragging it down too far, and apparently it thinks I'm clicking. Now, this is a painter's flower pot. That's the one you can put any texture in. If you're using these, however, you have to put dirt in them or they don't work. So grab that, grab some kind of plant, grab one of mine, one of my saplings. There's some pretty little, there we go, a little pink tree. Okay, this again, fence, 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 one stuck out the side. I put the flower pot on top and then used the wooden block, which happens to match the fence, and colored it that way so it just looks like it's all built in. Put the dirt in, put the thing on top, and I have a lamppost that has flowers growing out of it, just like some of the lovely cities that I like to visit so much. So there, flower pot. If you try to add the plant, nothing. You've got to put your dirt in, and it is there. You'll see it when you get up. See, there it is. I like to use the one with the green top, but I can only get them because I'm in creative. If you put dirt, I mean, it'll grow eventually like it did over there. Those were just put down regular dirt. In the sun, of course, they start to grow. Actually, I think I had to put water under them or something. I can't remember, but if you can get the enchantment, Silk Touch, you can take the blocks with the grass on them. I have still, to this day, not been able to get that enchantment. So that doesn't work for me, so I grab them occasionally out of. If it's going to really show and it matters, I just get it in creative because I can, and I cheat. And then you color it whatever you want, and there you go. And I'm done. That's it. I have talked way too much. I hope some part of this has helped if you're new and you're looking for ideas and you're wondering how to make things happen. Basically, just play with it. Take something and see how many different positions you can put it in and what you can attach it to and what you can't attach it to. Be willing to tear it down. Be willing to move on. Be willing to start over. Almost everything is pretty easy to do. Like I said, this one, if you think you're going to try for some, you know, textures and things going on with the walls, that one, it can be a little harder in some circumstances, but mostly you can just rip a mountain down, right, if it's in your way, or build up a valley if you don't have anything to build, you know, if your house is now hanging out into the abyss or something. But is there anything over here? Did I miss anything? Bookcase, you know, with the books around it like that. With fireplaces. You know what? I'll save that one for next time. This is getting kind of long. So I will see you soon. I hope this helped. Fun, what was your name? I wrote it down. Crazy Fun Dragon. I hope this helped you, and a couple other people wrote and did ask, you know, yeah, oh, that's a good idea. Would you do something? So if this was helpful in some way, it was fun for me. And I got to do a big headboard with books, which I've never done before. I now have to go change stuff. So hit like, please. Hit subscribe if you haven't. Leave your comments. Tell me what kind of things you'd like to see. If for this next one, I will do one more of these, probably shorter than this one, with fireplaces and a couple of other things, some table things that are in the back of my head here. But if there's something specifically you'd like to know about, I mean, if I don't know how to do it myself, I'll bet you one of the guys on the server does. So let me know what you're looking for, and we'll do one more of these before I, you know, hit the absolute limit of my ability. So until I see you next time, do hit the like button, okay? Live your life happy. Always build it beautiful. Bye-bye.